Am I the butthole for refusing to make any more meals for my girlfriend after she kept complaining about my cooking? Things have been great with my girlfriend for the most part. We, 28 female, 26 male, have been together 4 years and living together for 2. Lately there's been some tension, so I feel like maybe that's why things may have boiled over. We both work a lot, so we have both been very cranky and moody. Especially my girlfriend, who snapped at me a few times and been in a really bad mood. For the past few days, what's really set her off is my cooking. I'm usually the one making breakfast, packing our lunches, and dinner. Literally any time I've been at the stove, she complains about how bad the smell is and gives me crap about using stuff that has obviously gone bad according to her. Or saying it tastes like crap, won't even finish eating. This has pissed me off. I'm not a chef, but I do pride myself in my cooking, and she's talking about how bad my food is. I've had my coworkers try my lunch and they tell me it tastes just fine. I figured with all the stress she's under at work, she probably needed an outlet to let out her frustration. And maybe that's why she's giving me crap about simple things. I don't know. But I snapped a little this morning when again she complained about the omelet I was making us. So I actually dumped the eggs in the trash, told her she can make her own damn breakfast for herself then, and I'm not cooking for her anymore if she's going to keep acting spoiled about what I make. We ended up having an argument over this and we left for work mad. Anyways, my girlfriend didn't come home and her sister called me. My girlfriend's mad at me and her sister thought I was being dick for reacting so immaturely by refusing to cook for her anymore when I know she works a lot, so sometimes she doesn't have the time to prep her own meals. I don't know why this was turned into a bigger deal, but here I am sitting at home wondering if I was being a butthole for losing my cool and telling her I'm not cooking for her. Just didn't think it's fair for her to be talking crap about my cooking when she never has before, and thought, well, if she doesn't like it, then she can take over the kitchen. Was I a butthole? Update. Well, crap, this is way too many responses for me. Embarrassed smiley face, most of it pointing out some obvious crap that didn't even hit me until y'all mentioned it. It was super late when I posted this and I was going to wait until morning to talk to her. I had a missed call from my girlfriend, so I called her back. Totally different tune this time. My girlfriend was really apologetic about the way she was acting and didn't realize how much of a bitch she was being, her words not mine, I swear, until she talked more with her sister. Apparently her sis didn't have the full details of the fight. My girlfriend was just extremely upset, and while she told her what we fought about, I guess the state my girlfriend was in at the moment made her think the fight was a lot bigger than it actually was. Hence her reaction. She didn't know this was going on for days until they talked about it last night. Even her sister was like, seriously? Yeah, that helped her see how crafty she was being towards me. Her sister also apologized to me, by the way. I said my piece to her. It wasn't cool being used as her punching bag, and I don't deserve that kind of disrespect from her. Especially when I'm here cooking meals for both of us. My girlfriend was really understanding of that, and we both agreed to talk crap out instead of letting it all boil up to the point where we're both snapping at each other. Okay, so getting back to what everyone's been wanting to hear, my girlfriend got home and I decided to bring up her issues with the smell thing. Praying to God she wouldn't rip my head off for implying she was only mad 'cause hormones. Her reaction was priceless though, because clearly she didn't think about that either. Smiley face. So yep, we took a quick trip to CVS and got us a couple tests just to be sure. We came home and, yep, they're positive. Holy F, I can't believe you guys were right about that. I'm feeling like a bit of a dumbass for not knowing that, laughing out loud, smiley face, but anyways, yeah, we're pregnant and freaked out / super excited. My girl for sure cried, and okay, me too a little bit. She's calling her doctor to make an appointment though just to be sure, but yeah, for right now looks like we got a little squish on the way and I can't stop thinking about it. It's too crazy. I know lots of you keep asking, so there's your update. This has been a effing roller coaster. Edit. Sent my girlfriend my post. She thanks everyone for pointing out the obvious and about how bad her behavior was towards me. Anyway, she says you all are invited to the baby shower, lol. Info. She complains about how bad the smell is and gives me crap about using stuff that has obviously gone bad according to her. Or saying it tastes like crap, won't even finish eating. Are you sure she's not pregnant? I did not think about that honestly. Tell her to pee on a stick. When I was in early pregnancy I hated the smell of bacon. Made me want to vomit. Pregnancy explains the smells and the mood. Get her a stick and give us an update. Edit, typo. Congrats, original poster on the pregnancy. My mom's was eggs with my sister. With me, it was split pea soup, which she can no longer eat. I forget what it was with my brother, but it wasn't eggs because she craved those like crazy. It wasn't food for my mom. She had barely any morning sickness for me, but with my sister it was spray-on deodorant. Dad had to go outside to use, and she still cannot stand any spray-on deodorant. We all have to use roll-on. My aunt couldn't stand the smell of her husband for like 2 months straight. She spent most of that time at her mom's house. Poor guy had to stop in the middle of the road at least twice because she needed to vomit. For me, it was cheese. Any dairy but specially cheese. Funny thing is, normally I love cheese. Also, since we're still in the middle of you know what, Op's girlfriend should probably get tested for, you know, the 19. Yeah, that was my first idea. Yep, when I had COVID all dairy tasted rancid. Hey, I had road vomiting too. Super fun lol. Cigars made me heave. I mean, I don't like them at the best of times, but pregnancy magnified it by 100, and freshly brewing coffee reminded me of cigars, so my husband had to make his coffee far away from me. Leather, on the other hand? I nearly followed a man from my train to his because he had a leather briefcase and I could smell it before I could see him. Onions were my pregnancy no-go, couldn't handle smell, but couldn't handle the taste of noodles unless they were pot noodles, so strange, definitely ask her to test. My grandma still can't stand any artificial scent since she was pregnant over 50 years ago. No deodorant, no scented shampoos or soaps, nothing. I remember being over at my mom's house on a Wednesday, which for her and my dad was spaghetti night. She always cooks her red sauce in a crockpot so the smell permeates the house. Up until that Wednesday, I loved going over there to smell the sauce. This particular Wednesday, the smell made me nauseous. I had to cut my visit early because the smell was just vomit-inducing. A couple of weeks later, I realized I was pregnant. For the entirety of my pregnancy, I couldn't smell red pasta sauce. Even now, I'll eat it, but I prefer Alfredo, which was what I opted to eat during my pregnancy. I read this lovely story recently about how pasta Alfredo was literally created by a chef in the early 1900s because his wife couldn't stomach food during pregnancy and he ran through everything in his culinary arsenal to come up with a dish she could eat. Yes, I did read it while eating it. Web link. I did not know the history behind Alfredo sauce. Thank you for that. During the entirety of my pregnancy, my in-laws wanted to celebrate all birthdays at either Olive Garden, or more often than not, Macaroni Grill. Of course, I'd be dragged there by my husband. I was unhappy. I told everyone I couldn't stand the smell of the restaurants. I ordered fettuccine Alfredo every single time. Or I did make your own pasta dish. And of course, my daughter prefers red sauce over Alfredo. Lol. Eggs for me too, and it took over a year for me to be able to eat them again without nausea. Tagging on to say yeah. When I was early off in my pregnancy I could smell everything and it wasn't always good. I also experienced food aversion. Foods I usually love were suddenly gross. Pregnancy could also account for her shorter temper and exhaustion. Eggs. The smell of eggs was awful during pregnancy and just about any meat. Shudder, I still hate the smell of eggs to this day. Thanks kids. I couldn't be in the same room as baked beans. I had morning sickness all the way through as well and lost weight. Couldn't stomach much at all. Totally worth it for me, but it's a living hell for some women. I couldn't handle anything too flavorful or anything that basically smelled like food. I survived my first trimester on fruit, pounds of it, cereal, peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, and Eggo waffles. Lost 17 pounds, I was overweight anyways. I was the total opposite. I was a veggie for 10 years before I got pregnant. Never in my life before or since has bacon smelled so good to me. Yep, and I was so goddamn grumpy. Would explain a lot. If not, then maybe she does need to see a doctor in case something else is causing this. Are you sure your sense of smell and taste are normal? Maybe you should both get tested for COVID to be safe. Op said his co-workers said they taste just fine, so probably the problem is not there. Well, we had COVID in our family. Uncle had fevers, grandma had no symptoms at all, and I lost taste and smell. My smell is still gone, 3 weeks, but my taste is slowly coming back, and some things taste horrible to me that I used to eat normally. So it may taste okay to him and people around, but if she is affected, it might taste different to her. But that is just my experience. Also, depending on how close he is with his coworkers. Are you really just going to say to a coworker that your cooking is bad? I know I usually went the grin and bear it route. Still, I think no buttholes here ESH. She should be grateful that you cook, but if it only happened for the past couple of days. Plus pouring perfectly good eggs into the trash is a childish temper tantrum. My view might be biased, as the only time I had that happen was when my dad poured an entire bottle of good wine down the drain in a rage, because my grandmother kept messing with him and my mom. Plus pouring perfectly good eggs into the trash is a childish temper tantrum. It's not a temper tantrum when you've been repeatedly berated for trying to feed your GF. Plus pouring perfectly good eggs into the trash is a childish temper tantrum. It isn't when the person you're cooking for is either consistently ungrateful or regularly mocks your cooking. Yet my coworker had COVID in December and has just recently gotten her sense of smell back, but she says everything smells horrible. She has to switch to unscented soaps and lotions and can't be around in the house while they're cooking because it makes her sick. She thought she had been able to taste okay before her sense of smell was coming back, but now she's starting to realize that's also being affected. Yeah, but she is saying stuff smells spoiled, so that is more likely pregnancy than the lack of smell you get with COVID. COVID would be a loss of smell and taste, wouldn't it? She told him she hated the smell of the eggs. Clearly she could smell it and it was offensive to her senses in some way. If she couldn't smell it at all, then they wouldn't have had this argument. It can be both. My mom lost her taste and smell when she had it a few months ago, but she was just telling me the other night things still taste and smell badly to her. It can also alter your sense of smell and make things smell worse. COVID was my first thought too. Hey op, regardless of whether she's pregnant or not NTA. Even if she found the food you cooked disgusting, she's been really rude and mean. I would be so hurt if my partner spoke to me like that, especially in response to doing them a favor and taking care of them and their needs. There are much nicer ways to say that you can't eat the food. And if it wasn't a problem before, but is now, it's strange that girlfriend isn't approaching this as a problem they can solve together. NTA. Just a thought, but my wife's sense of smell became mega acute when she fell pregnant. Any chance? Wait, does that really happen with the smell? Because I thought it was just morning sickness and stuff that you get at first. Not everyone gets morning sickness. My wife just had this hypersensitivity to smells. Frying onions made her want to hurl, and pre-pregnancy she loved the smell. Wow, okay. That actually makes sense thinking about it. Don't know for sure though, but I'm going to have to talk to her. That's so crazy, I honestly had no clue about the smell thing. Embarrassed smiley face. I also had this issue when pregnant. Some food smells made me nauseous and other foods that I normally like became very unappealing. She may be pregnant and that would earn a pass, but I say not the butthole for standing up for yourself. I hope this all works out for you. I had to politely ask my coworker to stop wearing her perfume. It was a really strong smell, I think opium. It was a silver lining really, because even when not pregnant that perfume was overbearing and permeated the entire office. My significant other developed God-tier senses both times she was pregnant. At one point in my pregnancy I couldn't do the grocery shopping because the smells were overwhelming. I could smell every box of everything down an aisle. It was awful. Yeah, in early pregnancy I would sit in my car psyching myself up to run into the grocery store. The smells were overwhelming. I could be in there maybe 10 minutes tops before it became unbearable. I started dabbing orange oil or freaking Vicks VapoRub under my nose like a mortician to block out the grocery store. Everything was so strong. Carried a bottle of orange oil in my handbag like a bottle of smelling salts. During my first trimester I was on a road trip and had to stop at a small, hole-in-the-wall gas station to pee. 2 hours later I could still smell the cheap air freshener on my clothes. Working at a hospital while pregnant also made me appreciate the smell of Virex to the point I still find it comforting. It can cover a multitude of sins. I'm autistic and have this problem lol. I'm enjoying mask life. I hated the smell of cooking food. Literally any food, even pasta. If my husband cooked, I had to hide in my room with a towel crammed under the door and opened all the windows. I lived off peanut butter sandwiches and raw fruits and veggies for the first few months. It was awful. Morning sickness is absolutely just not in the morning. It can be round the clock nausea. Yep. I'm currently pregnant and only 11 weeks. All the foods I once loved I can't stand the taste or smell of right now. My poor fiancé has had to cook the majority of the meals we eat, because I can't stand the smell when I'm cooking. And I can't eat most of what he cooks either, as it makes me sick, so most of it ends up in the bin. This has been going on since I was around 5 weeks pregnant. Crap, I really need to call her before I get myself too excited over nothing lol. Thanks for this info. Feeling kind of stupid for not knowing it. I know people have said it could also be COVID or some other medical issue. Seriously doubt I'm using anything expired since we always check for that stuff and I haven't changed anything in my cooking. This is the first time she ever complains about anything I make. Please give us an update if she is. Sounds so much like it. Oh my god, I'm going to need that update. What a roller coaster for op, lol. Going from thinking your girlfriend is just being mean to possibly actually becoming a father. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe to be the first to know about Red Rabbit Reader's new videos. If you like our videos, please like them on YouTube and share them with your friends. We welcome your comments below. Press to start another of our videos.